What's up, guys? I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, this is part 8 of our data visualization with Python tutorial series. And as you guys know, if you have been following along, we are going to continue our exploration with regards to the styling and color schemes of our plots. So let's get to it without any further discussion. I should mention, guys, that you see what we are doing and what's actually going to be done, in the next few videos. There's not much, I would say, in-depth explanations for us to kind of cover. Because really, to be honest with you, the most important portions of, MatPlotLib is just the foundation itself, and that's something that, we covered in the first few videos, knowing that you can plot bar plots, pie charts, your scatter plots, and so on. Those are the important aspects, because really the styling aspects and color schemes and so on, they are controlled, using the parameters of the functions themselves. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I tell you guys that. So what we will do now, the first thing I'd like to show you guys in this video is the bar plot. So let's actually proceed to style a bar plot, and I will utilize the gray color scheme because that's something that I think is interesting to experiment with and play with. Okay, the reason why I say that is because, let's face it, right, in a data set, right, we have a very wide variety of values and a range of values. So what I'm saying is that the gray level strings, the gray color that we experiment with, you guys know it ranges from between 0 to 1. So essentially what I'm saying is that it caters for a wide variety. There are so many different levels of intensity that you can play with, and it is very useful when it comes to distinguishing between certain groups of data points that lie in the data set, as opposed to having a fixed red, blue, yellow, green, and so on. Instead, we have a scale of colors ranging between black and white. So I'd like to mention that to you. What I'd like to do now is, you guys know, right, we coded during one of the earlier videos a back-to-back bar plot that depicts male and female populations. So you guys can copy that code and use that again, because this is what we are doing, right? We're adding color to a back-to-back bar plot. So you guys can go ahead and copy that, or you can just code it along with me. So 5, 30, 45, and let's say 22. Here we'll say men population is equals to numpy dot array. Within these square brackets, let's do 5, 25, 50, and 20. That's fine. Now, the x values, you guys know, numpy dot a range. Suppose we have 4 here because of the fact that we have 4 bars that we'd like to plot. So the next aspect would be to actually plot these horizontal bar plots. So plt.bar h, within this I say x. Let's do the women's population for the first bar plot, and suppose we say color is equals to, I would like to set this to a string of 0.25. Let me copy this, paste that there. I'll take out the WO, that's fine. Now, I should mention as well, guys, it's not necessary for you to place a 0, okay, in front of the number that you are working with. If you type it as, just as in standard mathematics, when you add a point, something, something to another number, it automatically interprets it as a decimal. So what I'm saying is, just to give you a bit of insight, suppose we like 0.5 plus 0.45. You guys know that will equal 0.95. Alternatively, I can do zero point 0.5 plus 0.45, and I get the same answer. So that is that. Now plt.show, and really it is nothing different. All you're going to notice is color. There is going to be color. Okay, so I actually forgot the most important aspect, to make my y values for the second bar plot negative. Okay, so this will now see to it that I have my bar plot. So the reason for the color being the same is because I actually forgot to change this. Instead of 0.25, it should be 0.75. So I do a control enter, and as you guys can see, we have the women population and we have the men population. So the closer we are to 0, the closer we are to the color black. So the women population is actually the bar plot that shows on the right. And this makes sense, guys, because it is using positive numbers. The men population is using negative values. This accounts for the bars going towards the left of our axis, or plot. So that's that. Okay, guys, so the next portion I'd like to just, demonstrate to you. I won't really explain this much. I'd just like to show you the capabilities that we have, or when it comes to color coding, or, color scheming with our MatPlotLib. So import your packages again, PLT, that's fine. Now values is equals to numpy.random integers, and suppose here I'd like to set it to maybe 99. I'll do size is equals to 50. These are all parameters that we are working with. It is basically other ways in which NumPy can randomly generate values for us. So that's fine. What we are generating here, just to mention to you, it is going to be the bars themselves. Okay, the height of the bars themselves. Now what I'd like to do is I would like to have another list. I would like to set up a list object. Color set is equals to, this will be maybe a tuple, anyone you like you can, but the point is I am storing gray color strings within this tuple. So 0.25 we'll do 0.50 and we'll do 0.75. So that's fine. Now the next important thing that I'd like to do is utilizing a list comprehension. So as I said, I am not explaining this. You guys can take the time out, in a session by yourselves, and you can try to interpret what is happening here. It is standard Python syntax that we have covered before. This is a list comprehension. Within this, I'd like to pass len of color set multiplied by val floor divide by 100 for val in values. That is the list comprehension we have here. Now after that, so this is all to do with data, right? There's nothing major that's happening in these lines of code. It's just us preparing data, kind of getting the data in a sort of set, and then we plot that data. So let me proceed to do plt.bar. Within this, I'd like to pass numpy.arange, the length of values, because as I mentioned before, we were working with a number of bars. There are 50 bars that we'd like to plot, and therefore there should be 50 x values, or labels, or so on. So that's fine. Now after this, we need to pass in the height of the bars, which as I said is values itself, and the color is going to be equals to color list. Okay, that's what we are doing. Now plt.show, if I do a control enter, okay, so I actually forgot the point, in this color list tuple over here. So control enter, and as you guys can see, this is a bar plot we have, and we just have variations in the bars themselves. Okay, there is variation in the bars themselves. So that's what we have. Now, it is super interesting. I just wanted to show you that you have the ability to set different bars to be equals to different colors, using MatPlotLib color schemes. So that is that. And if you do run this, what you will notice is, I should mention this, there is constant change in the orientation of the bars themselves because we are generating random numbers. Okay, so that is that. You guys can go ahead, play around with this. It is very interesting. And yeah, you guys can actually experiment with other hexadecimal reds, greens, blues, and so on if you like. So that is that. Now, what I'd like to do is demonstrate for you pie charts, using customized colors for pie charts. So let's proceed to do this. What we can do is import numpy as np, import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, values is equals to numpy.random.rand. Within this, suppose I'd like 8. So that's the values themselves. For the pie chart, we have to pass in a single array of values that we'd like to plot. So color, let's actually set up a tuple object, call it color set. We'll set this equals to the same colors in gray strings as the previous example. So 0.00, 0.25, 0.50, and 0.75. So that's fine. Now plt.py, within this I can pass values, and colors is equals to color set plt.show, and now I do control enter, and as you guys can see, it is randomizing the colors for the color set itself. So super interesting stuff, guys. And I should mention, right, that the values are being randomly generated. So that's that. Now, is there anything I'd like to show you, for the remainder of this video? There is one more thing that I'd like to show you, and probably the last thing for this video is a very interesting and, a fun concept to experiment with. So it's known as what's called color maps. Okay, so I will comment that down for you. Color maps. Now, color maps basically allow us to, uh, uh, address or cater for a range of values. Okay, so essentially, color maps, they have colors that are defined within them. Okay, and it has the ability to map itself to a wide variety or range of colors that we actually deal with. So I will give you a simple example just to reinforce the concept for you, and it is really very interesting. Now, I should mention to you that color maps are defined and created for us in MatPlotLib itself. Okay, there's a sub module or sub package called MatPlotLib. So I will type that down, matplotlib.cm. Right, the CM stands for color map, and it contains predefined and pre-made color maps for us that we can utilize for our plots. Now I will demonstrate this using an example. So let's go import numpy as np, import matplotlib dot pyplot as plt, and again guys, please import matplotlib dot cm as cm. The cm stands for color map. Now I'd like to proceed to set up some values. So suppose I will work with a simple maybe a trigonometry graph or so on. We will see as we go along. So let's first set up n is equals to 256. Next, what I'd like to do is angle is equals to numpy dot linspace. And these are methods that we encountered several times before, even during our NumPy tutorial series. So 8 multiplied by 2 multiplied by numpy.py, and here I will pass n. So it is plotting for us angles. Okay, we are going to work with angles. Essentially, this code has kind of been tailored to give us a very interesting and fascinating pattern when we actually plot the dots on the scatter plot. So numpy.linspace start and stop. Suppose here I'd like it to be a point. Let's actually start it at 0.5. We can stop it at 1, and let's pass the total number of values we'd like to be equals to n. So that's good. Now what we want to do is we want to actually cater for the x and y values of the plot. So what I can do is radius x is equals to radius. And again guys, I am telling you this because I want you guys to know what we are doing. This code has been tailored to give us a fancy kind of visualization. Okay, essentially the dots kind of form a pattern. So numpy.cos, within this we pass angle, y is equals to radius multiplied by numpy.sin angle. Next, what we can do is the scatter itself. So plt.scatter, we are scattering the dots which are x and y. C is equals to angle, cmap is equals to cm.hsv. So just to give you a bit of insight, right, in case you are wondering, I'd like to just touch on a few points. Okay, so essentially first I want you guys to run the script and notice what you get. You get a really cool scatter plot that kind of looks like a flower or star. And remember, you guys can play around with edge color and so on to make it even more fancier. So let's do edge color is equals to k. That's black. As you guys can see, straight away it makes the dots really stand out. Okay, so I'd like to talk to you guys a bit about what we just did. You guys know we call the plt.scatter plot. It plots for us a scatter plot as implied by the name. Now there's a built-in support that this function gives us. The scatter function gives us built-in support for color maps. Okay, and this built-in support is accessed by the cmap parameter, which we have just utilized. And the cmap, the color map subpackage itself, has several color maps that are defined for us to use. You guys can experiment with that. Remember, we have already imported the cmap subpackage, and here you have a list of all of the color maps that are supported. So we can do cmap dot, let's try blues. I think that will be interesting. And as you guys can see, we get several shades of blues. So to be honest with you, the HSV is I would say the one that stands out the most. Now I should mention to you, right, that with regards to color maps, they are used, but to be honest with you, what we are learning at the moment is considered advanced MatPlotLib knowledge. Okay, by having the ability to understand and work with the concept of color maps and so on, you are giving yourself the advantage, the edge of coding in Python and being comfortable with MatPlotLib. So majority of the tutorials and so on that I will post on the channel, it allows me to learn and it allows me to teach aspiring individuals like yourself. So it is really interesting to keep on exploring all of these concepts, especially since we deal directly with the field of technology. So I will end this video here at this point. We did cover quite a bit of interesting concepts in this video. Specifically, it all dealt with the concept of customizing color and style of the plots that we work with. So in the next video, we will look at even more, options and parameters that we can explore for customizing our plot. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks for staying till the end of the video. Good luck with your work, and I will see you in the next YouTube video.